And we are recording. Welcome back to Under the Underground. I am Tristan Penrod. We're with Nasser, Osmond, and we have
stop dead naming you, bitch ass nigga. Holy shit.
We have two amazing special guests.
My fucking artist name, nigga. Don't tell these niggas my real name, bro. Holy shit. I don't wanna. Oh man.
Zentiago. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. And we have two amazing special guests. Emmanuel Let's Do Lunch, the most amazing producer of my hit song Altar Boy, and
Nasty, aka Sluts Are Nasty,
Sluts Are Nasty, and with fucking Mage / Sage,
Mage the Lady / DJ Signify.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
Yeah. Don't detonate him, dude. What the hell? Disgusting. Nigga, we're not normal people, bro. Like, don't do that to me. It's fucking gross.
Yeah, dude, I have people fucking watching me, bro.
Yeah, me too, bro. Yeah.
I fucking bring them donuts every morning.
Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah, I give them a fucking kiss on the cheek.
Yeah. Tell them what's up, you know? Thank you for your service, bitch. Boom, you know? Gotta tell them how it is.
So Emmanuel wanted me to ask you, and me and Emmanuel were talking about this a couple nights ago. But so Sage, tell me about fucking Adrenochrome, please.
Adrenochrome? Okay. So it's like, so you probably heard about it from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
It's basically the metabolite of adrenaline. And
also pause. Just for people to know, I guess let's first introduce yourself of who are you and what do you do. That's good context.
My name's Sage Milady. I also go by DJ Signify. I'm currently a senior undergraduate, but I already have my bachelor's of science in biochemistry. And right now I'm finishing up my bachelor's of arts in applied mathematics. I currently have one publication that's actually in astronomy.
Oh shit.
Unrelated, yeah. And then I'm trying to pursue my PhD in molecular biophysics. Next quarter, I'm going to be doing a program. It's like an online program through MIT where I'm going to be learning how to like design drugs. Even though I already know how to do that, I'm going to be learning how to use.
You got to go in there all green, like, huh? What's that?
Yeah. I'm going to be learning how to like use like a program that basically allows you, it like basically they build a program that has all of the physics of like real life built into it. So it's basically just like this like program that mimics things that are happening in real life and all the physics like kinetics and everything, thermodynamics, and it allows you to like work on like receptors and stuff. And like just you can literally just like throw shit in and it will like change the receptor based on what you're like throwing at it. So all this fucking cool shit. But yeah, I basically want to get into drug design. But
oh shit.
Yeah. So like Adrenochrome. So it's basically like it's the metabolite of adrenaline. And as you get older, your body actually releases less. It's unable to process adrenochrome in the same way. Well, it's unable to process adrenaline in the same way as adrenochrome. And basically, so it's really weird because, like, if you search up anything about adrenochrome online, it was, like, for years and years and years,
it said it was fake. Yeah, then now it's all conspiracy shit, and it's been proved to be an actual thing. So you find the Wikipedia article, and then just besides that, everything else is people are kidnapping children to extract adrenochrome.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the thing. Like, adults are unable to produce it, but the thing is, when kids get scared, like little kids get scared, they produce tons of adrenaline, which translates to tons of adrenochrome. Because, like, when you have, like, these little kids and they're young, it's like they have all these enzymes that we don't in our bodies. Like, as you get older, like, you metabolize alcohol worse, you metabolize like all drugs worse, and that's why you get like old people, like if an old person has a beer, they get like really fucked up, is because their body is unable to like process it. So like adults can't get it, but it's basically, it has psychosomatic effects, peripheral psychosomatic effects. So it's like also like, you know, in your head, like it has like, you know, psychoactive effects too. I've never taken it, so I don't really know, but I've had pretty adrenaline-ridden experiences, so I think I've, like, got there, but I just know adrenaline itself is fucking crazy, so I can't imagine, like, a form of adrenaline that is psychoactive. But yeah, so the thing that's weird about it is, yeah, kids produce way more adrenochrome than adults do, right? And it's only when they're scared. So what I think all these like child kidnappings and stuff are is like, yeah, of course they're like raping the kids, right? But I think that maybe like the like elites are using adrenochrome and they're basically extracting it from children by scaring them. So like all these kids here, like they basically take all these kids and they like kill animals in front of them and do all this fucking crazy shit. And they like, you know, bump up their adrenaline really high just so they can extract it from them, you know? And then, you know, the elite can do this fucking psychoactive, like, crazy-ass drug. Because it's weird. It's like, why do so many kids go missing, you know? Like, with the amount of kids that go missing, I think that it's not just, like they're being farmed for something, you know? Like, it isn't just, like, they're all just fucking kids. Because it's like, I don't know. I just think it's weird, but, like...
My question is, couldn't you just synthesize it? Like, how hard would it be?
The synthesis of it is a bitch. I've taken OChem. I took 2 years of organic chemistry. I'm telling you right now, there's like a lot of chemicals out there that like, you know, you could just go, oh, why don't you just make it, you know? It's because it's a fucking bitch. You get low yields. Like the synthesis of adrenochrome that I saw is like, wait, let me look at the structure really quickly so I can tell you exactly why it's hard to synthesize.
Yeah, give us the exacties, nigga. We don't want none of that fake shit.
So glad you're here. We finally found someone who can just talk.
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, adrenochrome has these like two ketones, and let me look at adrenaline compared to adrenochrome. So because if you're gonna synthesize adrenochrome, you would do it from adrenaline probably, because adrenaline's pretty easy to synthesize. Yeah, so it's basically adrenochrome is basically adrenaline, where the two hydroxyl groups that are on the benzene ring are basically they turn into ketones, right? So a hydroxyl group, it's also called an alcohol group. Is this an oxygen connected to a hydrogen? But you know, in adrenochrome, both of those oxygens actually you take away the hydrogen and it becomes a double bond. The reason why that's hard to do is because benzene doesn't want to change. You know, if you have that like structure, the 6, you know, carbons, and then they have like those like double bonds between them, which creates like a resonance structure, it's like hard to fucking manipulate that, you know? So that's like the first thing. The second thing is you're getting this like the auxiliary like tail that's like coming off of adrenaline, like off that benzene ring that has like a hydroxyl group and then an amine group. That's really hard because you also have to connect it to that like benzene group. So you have to like rip off like that hydrogen and like put, yeah. So it's basically, it's really fucking hard to synthesize. Like it's not something.
Not practical, right? Like how much money would that cost to do that, right?
Yeah, it would cost like $2,000 to maybe get like a milligram of product, you know, like it's just it's
impractical.
Better. Yeah. For things that are naturally like released by the body, it's more practical to just, you know, take them
farm it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's why insulin isn't synthesized really. That's why we still have to use cows to get it. We have to use like animals to get it. It's because like, you know, it is like a chemical and like you can make chemicals, but it's like
the technology isn't there, right? Like we can't synthesize as good. Like it's like
the technology isn't there. So it's like, you know, you got this situation where like all these kids are going missing, and it's like you have this drug that's literally like all the fucking literature behind it has been like wiped. Like there's like nothing that you can find on like the recreational effects or like anything. Like it's just like even like I literally went through my school's database and like tried to find shit on it, and there was only like maybe like 6 publications, and all of them weren't even about adrenochrome. They were just like referencing it. So they were just like, oh, we're doing a analysis of the metabolites of adrenaline or something. None of them have adrenochrome in like the name. So yeah,
that is actually so creepy.
Yeah, it is really creepy. It's like, you know, I think that maybe it's not even like they're doing that. You know, like they're not only taking adrenochrome, I think they might be like doing some like worse shit, you know, like using, because like you can't use you can't use animals to produce some of this shit, you know, because like humans are specialized for humans, and also kids have like all these fucking enzymes and stuff. Like their bodies are basically made to synthesize things, you know. That's like why when kids get hurt, like why when kids fall down or they like break a bone or something, it's able to repair like so fast. It's because their body is like producing all this molecular shit that like allows their bodies to just like repair like really fast. So it's like I think that they're like some of these kids, at least I don't want to say all of them because there probably is some sketchy ass dudes who are like sex trafficking kids, like definitely. And even the ones who are just being like farmed and stuff like that are probably being sex trafficked too. But like, I still think that there's definitely something more going on, you know, because rarely in science are things like this suppressed. Like almost all biological compounds have like over 1,000 research articles written about them, you know? So it's like weird that there's like this thing and there's like nothing written about it, you know, suppression of information. And it kind of ties to like, I don't know if you heard about that researcher in China who cloned those twins, you know, like
Wait, what?
There was a researcher in China. I need to search up what he did exactly, but he basically made artificial children. Like he made artificial twins. I think he did something by like he inserted they made like a fake zygote or something like that, and they put it into an egg, and it like, you know, the egg grew, and now like there's this person who's like, you know, artificial, was made in a lab, you know, they don't have parents pretty much. That dude went missing within a week of publication, you know? So like as a scientist, like it's like unless you're like in science, like in upper division levels and stuff like that, you don't really know this, but like literally there are certain topics where like there's taboo. A lot of shit like at school where I would go up to my professors and be like, hey, why don't we do this, you know? And they just like give you this look like, shut the fuck up, you're gonna get stolen, you know? Like there's people in this world, like if you do certain shit, it makes you a fucking target, especially in science, you know? And I think the reason why they do that is because the government is already doing those things, you know? And it's like when you publish an article, it becomes public domain. Like
because people don't know how far like the government shit's doing. Like
Yeah. So they don't want people knowing what the government's fucking doing. They want like a suppression of information, so they can continue doing what they're doing, you know, without like people getting, you know, so that's the thing about Adrenochrome. I kind of want to try it, but
you kind of want to try it?
Yeah, maybe I can scare myself somehow. I don't know.
Okay, so my question is, thoughts on the idea that the reason so many celebrities are acting weird during quarantine is that they don't have enough adrenochrome? Because that's been a theory that's been passed around a lot recently.
What do you mean by acting weird? Like, how are they acting weird?
Wait, you haven't heard about this?
Like,
no,
like,
I don't really.
Like, people are like taking like ugly pictures of Ellen DeGeneres and saying that she's withdrawing from adrenochrome.
Oh yeah. That could possibly be true. I do think that like there's a lot more drug use among the elite than like, you know, because I don't know. I think of like Jeffrey Epstein. And now he has, like, all these, like, fucking rich people and shit. Like, they're definitely probably doing some weird-ass drugs and shit. You know, those guys are
100%.
weird shit, you know? And I think, like, just with my experiences with, like, PCP and stuff, I think that it's 100% possible that, like, a lot of, you know, celebrities and stuff like that are like using either like PCP or like some other drug in order to make them like give them that energy, you know, because being a celebrity is like
draining. Yeah,
it's draining. You have to like have like that personality, and it's like if you lose it for like a day, you could lose your career. So you have to have something that keeps you but like talking about keep going, ask me.
Okay, so this is like kind of related, just kind of a random thought I had. Not really related, kind of related. Curious what you think. So, have you noticed, so certain people, when they really want to sell something, they'll, like, basically change their name to make their name make you want to buy the product. Have you noticed this?
I have not noticed that. Give me an example.
I'm thinking specifically, like, gurus on YouTube.
Oh, nigga.
Like,
man.
Like, hear me out.
Is Billy
so people
Mays
like
his actual name?
Wait, did you say Billy Mays?
Yeah, no, that's his real name, dude.
That is his real name. I'm not saying this is like everybody, but say we have someone like Damien Keys. He teaches you how to play music. His last name is Keys. Fucking Dan Locke. He wants to seem powerful. His last name is Locke. Like, all these different people, and most of these people, I assume, these aren't really their last names, and that they've changed them specifically to kind of like subliminally influence the person watching to take them more seriously about that subject.
Yeah.
You get what I mean, right?
Yeah,
okay, so here's something, basically this thought I had the other night, and might be totally off, but Ellen DeGeneres.
Ugh.
Think about that last name.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
DeGeneres. DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Look at her entire brand.
That's the type of conspiracy theorist he is, man. It's ridiculous.
No, like, okay. Does anybody else? Nasser, stop making fun of me.
Oh, I can't.
Sage, tell me your thoughts on this. Because her entire brand is "I am generous." That is literally her entire brand.
I just think, okay, look. Here's my thinking on that. Being fake and being the perfect suburban person is just like part of her appeal, right? So doing this whole like, we're gonna give away things because we're super nice. I'm super funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a whole stick, dude. It's just fake. Like,
yeah, sure, yeah, I know.
It sounds like an actual name, like.
But the generous, the generous.
What if like, you know, it's not like, you know, she changed her name for that? What if it's like she just had that name and she got into that position because subliminally having that name convinced her to do that? You know, like,
oh shit.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. I think it's because I've met a lot of people with names that like fit their occupation, you know? Like, I don't know, like
examples.
Workers and shit, like just have like some like super.
My name is Mike Builds.
Yeah, like Builder. Like my name is
Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Like I think like, you know, that kind of predicts, because think of it, like your name is given to you by your parents to a degree. So it's like, I think, you know, if the parents are naming their kids, then their parents also have like a lot of influence on like how they grow up and stuff. So like if their parents like name them something, then they name them with like a purpose, you know?
100%. And if people are already influenced by the parents, then that means the name's going to correlate to
also,
how they're raised.
Smith and shit like came from like people being Smiths, and then like Eric's son came from people being like a guy named Eric's son.
Yeah.
I never thought about Eric's son as Eric's son. Huh.
Yeah, dude.
It's actually kind of mind-blowing.
I'll be real. It's not mind-blowing. It's just like life is like kind of really simple.
Dude, wait, so give us the lowdown on MSG.
MSG? Don't fucking eat it. Okay. China.
Wait, what's MSG?
In China, right? They don't put any fucking. They have natural MSG, right? But they don't put high amounts of MSG in their food. So there was something actually called what was it called? It was called like Chinese restaurant syndrome. It was a real thing. I didn't believe it, but my grandpa worked in a Chinese restaurant when he was a kid, and he told me it's 100% real. They used to have vats of MSG, right? And the thing about MSG is it like yo, you have screen share? Let me put
we share screen, yeah. Boom. Wait. I don't know how to fucking use this though. I have actually no idea how to share.
It doesn't matter. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
So basically it's a form of glutamate, right? Glutamate's the main excitatory neurotransmitter in your body, right? What that means is every time that you like move your body or think or do anything, like look around or anything, it's using glutamate, right? Which is MSG is basically just the monosodium version of that. So it says glutamate with a sodium like next to it. And basically like they've done tons of studies and stuff. So you probably searched online and there's like all these fucking dumbasses who are like, oh, MSG is actually just a racist conspiracy theory that make, you know, against Asian people. That's actually false because their argument is that the MSG doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, which it doesn't. So basically, like in your brain, you have like all these blood vessels and stuff, and the blood vessels at your brain are like highly regulated to only let certain things in. That's called the blood-brain barrier. But the thing is, you have super delicate parts of your brain called the circumventricular organs. The circumventricular organs are found like in the main parts of your brain that deal, like the thalamus, that deal with like food intake, also like memory and stuff, like all of this shit. It's a circumventricular organ, which means that it doesn't have a blood-brain barrier. It's just very thin, and it allows only like certain things through. But the thing is, MSG can still go in those areas. And basically that, so like I'm a really big believer that the government creates a lot of those like weird hipster, like, you know, not like conspiracy theory, but ideas where it's like, oh, MSG is racist. You know, I think the government made that because when they put MSG in food, like, I don't know if you eaten at like a Chinese restaurant recently or something, but it's like you will eat and then later you will be more hungry. And it's just because it, like, that high glutamatergic input into your brain will, like,
it's intentional, right?
Yeah, it's intentional. Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Chinese restaurants.
That's genius. Like, if you think about it in a sick way, it's genius.
Yeah.
Because you spend more money there, right? Like, it's the profit thing.
Yeah, like you eat, and then like the weird thing about it is, since it's affecting your brain, since the MSG is affecting your brain can actually, because like usually hunger is like, you know, your I forgot the exact, it's not ghrelin, but it's the opposite of ghrelin, where like your stomach basically sends this chemical up to your brain and it says, oh, like you've eaten enough, right? MSG actually blocks that chemical, like in the
oh shit.
Yeah, it blocks that chemical so that you'll like eat it, and like even though you eat a bunch of food and you know that you're full, you know, like you can feel it, you will still like keep eating because it's like a drug. But the thing is, they used to have vats of MSG, just like huge vats of like powder that they would just like dump into Chinese food, and they actually had to put a regulation on the amount of MSG that you're allowed to put in food, just because of that, because like people would like eat Chinese food and like literally you had people like having seizures and shit like that. So yeah, and the most fucky part about MSG is it's regulated nowadays, but the thing that's like the fucky thing about it is, even though it's regulated, they can say
it's in everything.
Like, yeah, like when you look at a bag of chips, it says, oh, it has this much MSG in it, right? And you think like, oh, I'm only eating like 100 milligrams of MSG or something. The thing is, in the ingredients list, they can say like natural flavoring, and actually that could just be like all MSG. Like they don't have to tell you that it's in there. Like literally MSG is in everything. And they did this analysis of foods across the world, and by far like America has like, I think it was something crazy, like we have like 20 times the amount of MSG and like the same products. Like Cheez-Its was one. In America, we have like 20 times the amount of MSG in the Cheez-Its as they do in the UK, because in the UK they don't allow that much MSG and shit, you know. So yeah, no, MSG is really fucky. And the thing about it too is it can cause excitotoxicity, which is basically just like I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just kind of like ADHD. Like that's what excitotoxicity is. It's like you have too much, because it's an excitatory neurotransmitter, so it's like, you know, what moves your body and shit. So like if you have that shit in your brain, it kind of causes like a low grade seizure all of the time, and that's exactly what ADHD is. Like I don't know if you've ever talked to someone with like really bad ADHD, but it literally is kind of like they're on the verge of a seizure, but they're not having a seizure yet, you know, like they're like, all their ideas are coming out, like blah, 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 but it's just like they're not actually like, you know, it's like they're having a fucking seizure, but they're not actually shaking, you know. So I think like a lot of, and like it's ingenious if you think of it, because like now like ADHD didn't exist like 100 years ago, you know, like it didn't fucking exist. Like that idea did not exist, like people being overactive. It only started coming to light when we started putting MSG in foods, you know, like massive.
Okay, so do you think like, I guess like do you think like MSG, okay, so MSG is your like main reasoning for ADHD, but then would you say like the people who have like, I guess like ADHD are the people who are most affected by MSG?
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I forgot what it was, but yeah. People, yeah, that was something. It's like a reinforcing effect. It's like a because we're not supposed to eat that much MSG, And the thing about like most things like sugar, you know, like diabetes is you call it like a positive reinforcing loop, which basically means that like the problem gets more exacerbated the more you take it. Like the more you eat sugar, the more sugar you need, but then that has a bad effect on the body, you know? So it's like a positive reinforcing effect. So like if you're eating MSG, it's like you need to eat more MSG, and without realizing it, you're like hooked on this like chemical that's like keeping you awake. And like that's how you get people like drinking soda and like eating fucking chips and shit all the time, is because they're like literally locked into this cycle where their brain is like literally having a seizure and they're not able to like function, you know? Like they're just like I'm pretty sure you guys like those like booger, like the fucking booger video game guys who just like eat like fucking Cheetos all day. Like that's literally what it is. They're having like a seizure and they are unable to get out of that loop. And really like the only way to like stop it is just like to get them off of MSG, you know, like they get them eating like fucking vegetables and shit. But the fucked up thing about it is, since, you know, all of our generation came from like, you know, ancestors, and the thing is our ancestors were eating a lot of MSG. So it's like no matter what, we all have like some excitotoxicity. Even if you're not eating MSG, your ancestors, like your grandpa, your like grandma, your like mom and dad, you know, like they were eating tons more MSG than we have nowadays. So your brain is like sensitized to it.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, it definitely makes it makes you worse, you know. It makes you really
because it's like that exact like scenario you're talking about is exactly like happened to me, you know, where it's like your brain is like to the point where it's like you can't do anything, and that kind of makes sense. Like a mini, I kind of see that, because it's like it's weirdly like debilitating, where it's like on the outside it seems like you're fine, but it's like you can't even like function or think.
Yeah,
shows like
the best way I like to describe it, because I've been through it too, is it's like you're like you're like sitting in bed all day, and it's like your brain is going really fast, but like you're unable to do anything except like eat and just like watch videos or something. You're like unable to do anything except like you're
like a zombie, right? Like
yeah, it makes you a fucking zombie. And that's the thing too, is like a lot of people don't know this, but wait, it's not like in your brain, it's not like neurons fire and then that's how you function, you know? It's actually the deficit of neurons firing. So it's like you have all these neurons in your brain, like billions and billions of them, and they're all firing, right? So it's not actually the ones that are firing that are like creating your consciousness and stuff. It's actually the ones that aren't firing, you know? It's the ones that aren't active. And they've seen that like when people are in like really meditative states, their brain activity starts going down. Like when you're in a more relaxed state, your brain activity starts decreasing, you know? So it's almost like, you know, people take like Adderall and shit like that, and they're like, oh, I'm going so fast. Like people take meth and shit and they think they're going really fast, but they're actually just like fucking retarded, you know? Like it's not like working, you know? Yeah, and also like the way neurons die too is like let's just say you got hit on the head, you know, you got hit on the head, or like someone just hit you on the brain. Those neurons, the way that neurons die is they call it death through fire. That's the name in neurology. And basically what it means is when a neuron dies, it just starts sending out glutamate. Like this is what it does. It just starts sending out signals like all the fucking time. And yeah, it's pretty much like a seizure. It's like a low grade fucking seizure. Yeah.
Sage, tell me the Starbucks story.
Oh, the Starbucks story? Okay.
Yes, we need to hear it.
Oh shit, we got 7 minutes. I can tell in 7 minutes, and then we'll take a break.
Take the break.
Basically, I've been taking dissociative anesthetics since I was like 12, and it's actually what got me off of Adderall, because it has the opposite effect of what Adderall does. Because the thing is, even though Adderall affects dopamine receptors, the downstream effect of that is overactive glutamatergic receptors, you know, which is the main excitatory neurotransmitter. So yeah, I was taking dissociative anesthetics for a while, and on July 4th, so basically I would get them online. I would like buy them online. I bought 2 Oxo PCE. I got PCE, and then I got 3 MEO PCE, and then I got 2 PCP analogs, which were 3 HO PCP, and then 3 MEO PCP. And then I got
you seem so excited.
Yeah, MXPR, MXPIR. Like, I basically got all these fucking drugs that are, like, dissociative. So they work kind of like ketamine and PCP, but they're, like, these ones are a lot crazier and a lot more varied. Like, 3-HO affects your opiate receptors. 3-MeO affects your serotonin receptors. Yeah. So I got them all in the mail. And, of course, my girlfriend was, like, fucking pissed at me. And she was like, I'm not going to talk to you. Fuck you. Like, all this shit. But, yeah, I got them on July 4th. And then I basically just went on a fucking binge. Like, I was taking, like, all of them, right? And at a certain point, I got to this point where I took all these, like, 8 different drugs that I had, and I just put them all into, like, the same bag because I was sick of juggling them around. So I had them all in the same bag, right? And I was, like, fucking...
Mystery pill? Like...
yeah, I was, like, out of my fucking mind. So I would, like, I ran out of needles because I would IV inject them. I would do it safely though with like micron filters and shit. Like I was like 100% safe. But I ran out of needles. So I skateboarded to Safeway with all the drugs like in my backpack, like in this like single baggie. And I got the Safeway and I bought the needles and then I had them. I was already really high at this point. So I was just like, when I'm high, I'm just like in the state where I'm like, fuck yeah, everything's like awesome. I was like wearing sunglasses and was like, whatever. So then I got the needles and I was like, okay, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? So I walked around a little bit in this like little mini mall and I saw this like Starbucks like drive-through. And I just like straight up, like I walked into the drive-thru, like where the cars were and shit. And I just walked and I just like went into these fucking bushes. Like these people like saw me just like walk into these bushes. And I just like, I made my shot with like all these different like 8 fucking chemicals. And yeah, I basically did it. And then like it started chill, and then all of a sudden I was teleported into this weird ass universe. I can only say it was like a forest rave, right? I was like in this forest rave, and all of my family and friends were there, right? Like everyone I knew, I like saw them. It was like real. I was like actually seeing them in real life, and they were all touching the ground, like feeling the dirt and stuff, and they were all going like, oh, you can feel this good. You can feel as good as us, right? They're all saying, like, you can feel really good. You just need to do this. You need to climb up this hill, right? So, like, it was completely drugged out. It felt like a fucking video game or something. But, like, all my family was there, and I was just, like, crawling through these, like, bushes and stuff, like, up this hill. And it felt like it was, like, there was, like, going to be a climax or something. I actually thought I was going to, like, climb up this hill, and I was going to end up at my school giving a speech somehow. Like I thought I was going to be giving a speech to all these people. And I was like, going to like finally like get to the state I've never been before. And it was going to be like fucking crazy, right? I was like crawling up these like through like all these fucking like, bushes and stuff. And then finally when I got to the top and I like looked over, I was behind fucking Starbucks, like in the fucking bushes. So I ran out of the bushes and I was just standing in the fucking drive-thru. I lost both of my shoes. I also had scratched my eye with like a tree branch because I was so high that I didn't even have the wherewithal to like protect my eyes. I literally was just crawling through the bushes and something like hit my eye. So I got a cornea abrasion. So it's basically just where you like scratch your eye. So I was like standing like out there. I was like holding one shoe. And I like called my girlfriend like screaming. And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Because I thought that like I was still gonna give a speech or something like that. And then yeah, all of a sudden these 2 cops like walked up and they're like, hey sir, what's going on today? Like, where's your other shoe? Like, what's happening? And I just straight up was like, I took drugs. And they asked me what drugs I took, and I told them I took love. And then they're like, okay, well we're gonna need you to come over here. And then I went into the parking lot of Starbucks, and there was probably like 20 people filming me. And I was just like standing there. I looked so fucked up. Thankfully, all my drugs and everything were still in the bushes. So like the cops couldn't find shit on me, right? But the cops called the paramedics, and then the
Sage, less than a minute left in the Zoom call.
I know, I can finish it. I got it.
So, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was gonna say let's just do it to be continued and then call back right now so we can just get it all.
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about like trying to like finish it quick.
Yeah, I don't really want to finish it quick because it's fucking dank.
Okay, so we'll be back in a second. Hey.
All right, we recording, bitch. We back here, part 2.
We're back here, part 2. Let's do this shit. Okay, Sage, continue this amazing story.
Yeah, so it was like outside. So the cops took me, and it was like outside like the Starbucks. I was like holding a single shoe. I wasn't wearing any socks, so I was just like barefoot, like in this like Starbucks parking lot. And there was like 20 like of these fucking people like filming me and just like laughing their fucking asses off. And like the cops like were like, okay, this is a mental health issue, so like we're not gonna like get you in trouble or anything. You're just gonna go with the paramedics, right? But the paramedics like rolled out like the stretcher and they like put it in front of me, and they were like, look, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, what? Nothing's fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing happened. And I kept saying I didn't do any drugs, which is funny because, like, yeah, I told the cops that I took love. So, like, these, like, paramedics kept asking me, they were like, what did you take? And I was like, oh, I took love. And I kept just, like, trying to get out of it. And they were like, you have to get on the stretcher so we could take you to the hospital. And I just kept saying, no, I can't do that. And I kept trying to, like, walk away. So they like finally just like took me and started trying to like put me onto the stretcher, and I just started screaming about how this was America and how I could walk around without without shoes if I wanted to. And like, yeah, it was fucking crazy. And then like I was just like fighting, they were like strapping me down. I was like fucking just like fighting, like trying to get out of it. And like finally like this paramedic came over, and they had so like they use ketamine to like, you know, anesthetize people when they're like, you know, freaking out. So like, yeah, like this guy brought out over this like huge syringe of ketamine, and like it was funny because they were gonna use that on me in the instance that like I didn't stop freaking out. But the thing that made me stop freaking out was this like huge like syringe they had of ketamine, and he was just like staring at me, and I like looked in his eyes, and I was like, bro, I know what that fucking does. You need to fucking inject me right now or else I'm gonna freak out more. And then he just like kept like holding it in front of me, and like, yeah, they like eventually like got me to the hospital, and they like sat me down like in the hospital bed. And yeah, it was funny because like the nurses came in, like the doctor came in, and the doctor was like, what did you take? And I was at like the point in my trip where I couldn't talk anymore, because like sometimes when I'm on it, like I talk out the side of my mouth, like I'm unable to actually talk, but my brain's still working, right? So they were like, what did you take? And I was like, give me a piece of paper, I'll draw it. So they like gave me a piece of paper, and I just drew like.
Also, pause. Just like, out of any crazy person freaking out on a bunch of drugs in the street, just think about this. None of them would have been able to draw it. And then just somehow you're just like, I'm going to draw it.
Yeah, no,
so
I looked so fucking scary. When I was walking into the bushes, I saw this homeless guy who looked like he was on meth, and this homeless guy literally avoided me. Like, he like walked away from me. He was like, oh shit, I'm not going to fuck with this. But like, yeah, but yeah, I was like in there, and I correctly drew the structure of like all like 8 different things that I took, and like, and yeah, no, the doctor took it away and was like kind of like laughing at me, like it wasn't like I didn't actually draw anything real. But then like 5 minutes later, like the toxicology guy came in, like the toxicology guy for the hospital, and he was like, hey, what's up, bro? Can you tutor my kid? And I was like, what? And he was like, my kid's taking Ochem right now. Can you tutor him? And he was just like joking. It was like really funny. But then he literally, like this toxicologist, he was just like, what do you want, kid? What do you need? And I was like, give me a benzo. Give me an IV benzo. So they like came in and like gave me like Valium IV. It was just like funny because I was like telling like the nurses and doctors like what to do. I was like, I'm on a dissociative anesthetic. Give me a fucking benzo. So they gave me benzos, and then like, yeah, my girlfriend was like still pissed at me. And then I called up my one of my friends, and she picked me up from the hospital, and it was funny because she had no idea what was going on. Like, I hadn't seen this person for like 4 months. So like she just like came to the hospital and she's like, hey, what happened? And I was just like, I had an overdose. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then she was like gonna give me a ride home, but I was like, we need to stop at Starbucks. And it's funny because like I was like, I was like,
wait, did you go for your socks?
What?
Did you go to Starbucks?
No, finish the story.
Socks?
Finish the story. Let him finish, bro.
No, I went to Starbucks because all my drugs, my skateboard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of my shit was still there, right, in the bushes. So she was like driving me there, and I was like trying to explain everything that happened, but I was like unable to like say the words and shit. So she was just like already like weirded out. This person like loves me though, so it was like she was just like whatever. Like she's seen me super fucked up before, so she's like, all right. This is like really funny because like in the middle of the night I was like, we gotta go to Starbucks, and like me and her just like went out and we were like walking through these bushes, and I was like halfway explaining everything that happened, and like we like walked into these bushes, and there was just like all these like fucking drug bags on the ground, like this like big bag with like all the shit in it. And like I was just like picking them off the ground, like all these syringes. She was like, oh, okay, what the fuck? And then like, yeah, I just gave them to her, and I told her to just like hang on to them. But then she threw them away, which I'm like all right with, because she was just like, oh, that's fucked up, because she didn't want to like keep like 8 different drugs on her. But yeah, that was my story, and it was fucking, the funniest part about it is because 2 days after that happened, I submitted like that paper for publication. So it's just like, yeah. Also,
hey, you paused. You cut out.
oh, so yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why I cut out. But yeah, no, I guess the funniest part though was when the paramedics were there, I think they originally thought I was just like a random fucking like vagrant, like homeless guy. So they were just like talking to me like some like fucking homeless guy. But then like remember, like I called my girlfriend right when I got out of the bushes, and she was still on the line. So the paramedics were talking to her. She's like, hey, do you know this guy? Like, what's going on? And like, she was like, yeah, he's a fucking scientist, and I'm sick of...
Cut out.
Bro, it keeps on cutting. That sucks.
Wait, is he gonna vanish? Let's see. Is it his Wi-Fi? I don't actually know where Sage keeps going. He keeps dropping out of this conversation.
Yeah, the feds got him, guys.
Feds probably got him. So yeah, at this point, this has happened with multiple guests at this point, where they just drop out of the conversation. So that's basically how this podcast goes. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna do some kind of ending. Normally, I'd ask Sage if he wanted to like shout anything out or just have any last words. But he's gone, so we can't really do that. So, Nasser, any last words from you? Also, like how this shit was some Hunger Games shit. We started with fucking 4 people, and then slowly each one of them gets killed off.
Emmanuel's useless. I don't even want to put him on a side on this episode. I'm like, I don't want to.
Oh, we're not promoting.
We're not telling that he's in this episode. I don't even want people to know who his name is. We're not going to give any shout out, no name. He wasn't a part of this. He was just...
Okay, yeah, no, we're not going to shout out Emmanuel. Let's do lunch.
Yeah, because we hate him.
Yeah, that's the truth. Okay, so last words?
It's like, does he want to be... It's like, does he even want to be in a podcast, or does he just want to listen to a podcast live? Like, you know what I'm saying? He like wants to be that one nigga right next to Joe Rogan as he listens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, who doesn't want to be next to Joe Rogan? Am I right?
Because I'm not gay like you, dude. I'm straight.
Okay, on that note, let's end this shit.
Peace, man.